Welcome back to I'm Looking for Work. In this video we're going to talk about preparing for the interview. The interview is an important and critical part of the job hunting process. If you've committed to changing your point of view from being unemployed to I'm looking for work, then preparing for this inevitable event is essential. Don't leave it until the last minute to find out that you're not prepared for the interview. During the interview, you'll be judged based on your appearance, presentation, and the answers to the questions that they ask you. You'll need to be well presented, confident, and accurate with your answers. So I've prepared a list of things that you'll need to consider even before arriving at the interview. Your appearance is probably the first thing. It's a sad fact, but people will judge you based on your looks and your presentation. So you need to make sure that your clothes and any other essential items are ready for the day that you get an interview. Sometimes an interview can be offered at short notice, and it's important that you're prepared and ready to go as soon as you're asked to attend. Dress appropriately. There's no need to be overdressed or poorly dressed for this significant day. However, you need to dress for the situation. If the people in the industry wear suits, wear a suit and tie. If the people in the industry wear jeans or overalls, you may get away with a clean pair of jeans and a nice shirt. Use your best judgment based on your perception of how people dress in the industry that you're applying for the job in. Make sure that your clothes are clean, pressed and ready to wear well ahead of time. If you can't afford or don't have great clothes, make sure that what you have is clean and presentable. Make sure that they're free of pet hair and lint, because you don't want the employer to have anything other than you to be thinking about at the interview. Make sure you have clean shoes and, if appropriate, polish them. If you wear makeup, make sure you don't overdo it. You don't want to be remembered for having too much makeup. If you shave, make sure you shave daily in the morning so you won't get caught out if a job interview comes up at short notice. And make sure you shower before going to the interview. You don't want to be referred to or remembered as being the smelly applicant. I know that some people can't wear deodorant because of allergies, but if you can wear deodorant, it will help you to avoid being remembered as a smelly job applicant. Take care of and care about your personal hygiene. Brush your teeth and make sure your breath doesn't smell before going into the interview. If it does and you can't help it because of a tooth or mouth condition, make sure you have a breath freshener before going into the interview. If you're a smoker, get something to make sure that it's at least less noticeable before going into the interview. Carry body spray in the car, use a breath freshener, or carry some mints to disguise the smell of the smoke. Whatever you do, do not walk into the interview smelling like you're on fire. Here's a quick tip for you. If you get nervous easy and are prone to sweating, consider wearing a light coloured t-shirt under your outer garment. But make sure that your outer garment covers the t-shirt. This will absorb a lot of your sweat and help you reduce the chance of getting sweat marks beneath your armpits. The extra benefit in this is that you won't be so conscious about sweating. You'll be less nervous and able to concentrate better on the interview rather than on your sweaty armpits. It goes without saying that you need to have manners at all times. And if that doesn't come naturally, I've got one word for you: practice. When you walk into the employer's business, you need to make sure you're remembered for one thing and one thing only: being the most pleasant and polite person anyone has spoken to today. Not just by the employer, but by everyone that you come into contact with in that business. You see, you never know who's working in what position in any company. The boss's wife might be working at the reception, his son could be working in the gardens, and his daughter, she might bring you coffee during the interview. If the situation ever arises that they ask one of these people what they thought about you when they came into contact with you, you better have left a great lasting impression. You'd be amazed, especially in small businesses, how many times the lady on the front desk is asked to help with the employment decisions, and how important their role could be in your getting a job. Don't blow the interview at the front counter. Practice being polite with everyone. Make sure you speak within your comfort zone and capabilities. Over the years, some of the people I've interviewed have actually made up words to impress me. I'm sure of it. Many others have used words out of context and have often ended up exposing their lack of education. Some employers might overlook this because it's just not important, but others will remember, and this could count against you in the interview. The answer to avoiding these situations is easy. Don't use complex words for the sake of sounding intelligent, and answer questions accurately and precisely with simple sentences. Always speak only within your capabilities and comfort zone. If you're uncomfortable with how well you communicate, then practice, and then practice some more. If you need help with your communication skills, look for it and get the help you need. There are people and places all around you that will help you with developing your communication skills. You might have a friend or a relative that you can confide in and practice with, or you might find it easier to work with a stranger. And if that's the case, consider community organisations, churches, aid agencies and speaking clubs. Toastmasters International is an organisation that teaches people to speak publicly, and they have branches in many cities all around the world. You can find them online at www.toastmasters.org. Can you imagine how much more confident you'd be speaking to people one-on-one if you were trained to speak publicly? Be prepared for the questions. When you get into an interview, it'll be too late to get any information you need about the job, the company, or anything else you might be asked in the interview. Be prepared and do a little bit of research before going to the interview. Does the company have a website? If so, you'll be able to find out some information about who they are, what they do, and how they do it. It's always a compliment for an employer to know that you're interested enough in the job that you've done some research on them before you arrive. When you get there, be prepared for the questions they might ask you in the interview. This could be relative to the job itself, the company, or the industry. Just for a moment, put yourself into their shoes and think about the kinds of questions you may be asked in an interview, and find the answers before you arrive. Because I can assure you that you won't get a chance to do this research in the interview. In closing, I'd like to say that if there's anything at all that you're unsure of or worried about before going to the interview, deal with it. Deal with it by finding out the answer or preparing for it before going to the interview. Because you only get one chance at making a first impression, and that's a big thing in a job interview. I hope that what we've covered here today has been very useful, and I look forward to sharing more with you in the next video.